Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Claiborne. I'm really happy that you're here with me today. So I need to do a little bit of shopping in the medicine garden, and I thought I'd take you with me to reintroduce you to a plant that I discovered growing right outside my home last year, but we just kind of briefly touched on it last year. So this year I'm actually going to put this plant to use. It's called Cinquefoil, Cinquefoil. And it's also known as five fingers. It's also known as potentilla simplex. Potentilla is Latin for little potent one, and simplex just simply means simple or unbranched. So I just call it cinquefoil. And it's very recognizable. I know that you know this plant. You've seen it on the side of the road, and it's got bright yellow flowers, and sometimes the leaves themselves can look like almost like strawberries in a way, a strawberry plant. I compare it to marijuana plant, a cannabis plant with the jagged edges on the leaves. It is a member of the rose family, so it definitely looks like rose leaves. So I'm going to introduce you to this plant today, and we're going to make a decoction of it to treat a wound on the back of my dog's neck. This stuff is absolutely great for wound healing. And so my dog Bo, before he got his anti-tick medicine, he had gotten a tick bite, and it got pretty nasty. It was under his collar, so I didn't even know that the tick was there. And then after, of course, he got his anti-tick medicine, the tick backed out, but it did abscess underneath there, and it left kind of a gaping wound. And so I've been treating it with Cinquefoil, and today's probably the last day that I'll need to treat it, and then I'll switch over to probably something else to kind of help get rid of that scarring. But I thought I would take you over to the Cinquefoil area of the medicine garden and introduce you to that plant today. So let's go. So here's the part of my medicine garden that is reserved for my little potent one. So this grows on sides of roads, banks, county right-of-ways. It's all over North America, Canada, all the way down to New Mexico. I know you have seen this plant before. It's very hardy. It's got this creeping nature. It'll kind of come up like this and then fall over. There is a tall version and there is a dwarf version of this. So for medicinal balconies or basket growers, you can grow this too. I want you to see the leaves, how they're sort of a dark green on top, and then they're more silvery with little hairs on the bottom. But I do encourage you to get a book about natives in your area so that you can, it doesn't matter what grows all over the world, it matters what grows right around your world. The little flowers are always single like that. The whole plant can be used, the roots, the stems, the leaves, and the flowers. It's antispasmodic, it's an astringent, it's an anti-inflammatory. It was used extensively by the Paiutes as a diuretic, so as a laxative, actually. So, but what I mostly use this plant for is as a wound healer. So this is one of those plants, if you're like me and you get those annoying mouth ulcers, you can just take off a piece of the leaf, the stem, and you can just chew that and get that astringent going in your mouth and let that settle next to that mouth ulcer. You'll be surprised how it heals it up. So that's why I'm going to use this as a healing agent today for my dog Bo. Oh, also I do want to mention that it's used in industrial for tanning, because it has like this redness to it, much like St. John's wort, and it's can be used to tan leathers and cloth. And also because of the red, it's often used in Chinese magic as a love plant. All right, well, I'm going to harvest a little bit of this. Now, I do ask permission for my plant before I harvest, but hey, that's just me, to each their own. So let's harvest some of this Cinquefoil. So I treat all of my plant matter the same. When I first harvest it from my garden, I bring her into a shady spot and I let her rest for about 10 minutes, and that gives a chance for all of the little pollinators, even the smallest that you can't even see, a chance to go back to the medicine garden, which is where we want them. And then she gets rinsed in cool water, and I chop her into pieces that are going to give me more surface area for the warm water to come in contact with, but I don't macerate her up to a point where I don't recognize her. Then I put mine in a glass jar and I pour warm, not boiling water over my plant matter and allow it to set for about 15 minutes. And then, of course, you just strain it off and you can tightly cover it and keep it in the fridge for up to about a week. I prefer to heat it up a little bit before I apply it to the patient, but that's just personal preference. All right, guys, hopefully you won't be needing this, but if you do, it's nice to know it's right there for you. Much love and light. Many blessings.